Hello everyone. The desire to stand out from the crowd is quite natural and familiar to many. However, people usually aren't ready to make radical changes to achieve their dream, unlike the protagonists of our video. So, do you want to take a look at people who've changed their appearance almost beyond recognition? Then, let's get it on. Tran Van Hey. Sometimes people are forced not to wash their hair due to some circumstances, and it looks disgusting. But Vietnamese Tran Van Hey, the man with the longest hair in the world, took this decision absolutely consciously. Tran Van Hey hasn't cut his hair for more than 50 years after getting ill as a result of a haircut. Of course, he blamed it all on the haircutting, so he decided it was better not to repeat the dangerous procedure. During this time, the man only washed his hair a few times and didn't really care for his hair, but just let it grow. The result is one huge 6-meter-long dreadlock weighing more than 10 kilograms. When he goes for a walk, he has to wrap his hair snake several times around his head and fix the whole thing with a turban. But Tran Van Hey never got into the Guinness Book of Records. They just say he never applied. Sahar Tabar. You may have heard about this girl named Sahar, who made 50 plastic surgeries to become Angelina Jolie's lookalike, but as a result turned into a character from a Tim Burton movie. Frankly, her pictures look really impressive, but it turned out that only a part of the frightening image is the merit of the plastic surgeons. The girl confessed that she had retouched her photos in Photoshop and applied frightening makeup on purpose.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
At the same time, she really went through several plastic surgeries, but not 50 at all. Sahar had a liposuction, corrected her nose and plumped up her lips, and now she uses a corpse bride look for self-expression. Jay. Each of us knows from childhood how important it is to brush your teeth every day. But this British guy named Jay apparently didn't know about that, or maybe he chose to ignore this rule. Whatever it was, in 20 years of his life, he never touched a toothbrush. Jay says he never thought about the importance of oral hygiene, and the terrible habit of not brushing his teeth has stuck with him since childhood. Besides, the young man loves sweets and carbonated drinks, which definitely doesn't help his teeth. But even the fact that the atrocity in Jay's mouth didn't let his dreams come true, the guy still did nothing. In the end, he decided to participate in the British version of the project Embarrassing Bodies. It's hard to imagine what the dentist must have felt when he first saw Jay's teeth. Fortunately, the doctor had strong nerves, and after removing 11 teeth and installing implants, Jay got a brand new smile and almost completely transformed. The procedures took 5 months in total. Luis Padron. Since his childhood, Luis Padron from Buenos Aires, Argentina, was literally obsessed with the world of elves, angels, and fantastic creatures, and we can quite understand him. Fantasy can really be fascinating, but with age, he didn't forget this hobby. On the contrary, Luis became more passionate about it, and finally he decided to turn into an elf.
I will not stand down before any elf, not least this faithless woodland sprite.
At the age of 14, he had his skin and hair on his head bleached. Now the guy spends about $5,000 a month on various creams, dyes, injections, and sunscreen, keeping his skin as light as possible. Luis also spent about $35,000 on plastic surgery. He underwent a chin liposuction, a rhinoplasty, a complete hair removal, except for the hair on his head, and he changed the color of his eyes and the shape of his ears. However, after eye surgery, he started having eye problems, but that didn't stop Luis. Overall, the elf enthusiast had to go through about 40 surgical procedures, and this is not even the end. His plans include surgery to lengthen the limbs to become at least 180 centimeters tall, and to change the incision of the eyes. Luis says that after these changes, he'll feel even better than now, and hopes to be in the new Lord of the Rings television series as an elf. Mauricio Galdi. Barbie dolls are very popular, and many girls want to look like Barbie. But what about boys and Ken? Brazilian Mauricio Galdi went under the surgeon's knife 8 times, and only after that became like a doll. We must say that life itself pushed the man to do this. From a young age, Galdi dreamed of becoming an actor, and at the age of 17 years, he went to an audition. It was there that his childish dream was broken after colliding with reality. They turned Galdi down, explaining that there was nothing special about him. They even called him ugly. So the guy waited until he was 18 and decided to take his life into his own hands. He didn't have much money, so he changed his image gradually, but eventually Galdi reached his goal and became a star. After Mauricio turned into Ken, journalists gave him no peace. The guy always gets invited to TV shows, he participates in fashion shoots and shows, and has the life he has long dreamed of. Arlindo de Souza. Achieving muscle growth by artificial means is a temptation to passionate bodybuilders, and Arlindo de Souza is no exception. He is 47 years old, he lives in the Brazilian municipality of Olinda, and has long been engaged in bodybuilding. During this time in sports, Arlindo tried everything. He used steroids, horse vitamins, hormones, but nothing gave him the desired result. Then one of his friends offered him to try synthol. The results surpassed all expectations. His muscles grew very quickly, and soon they became big, way too big. The muscle bumps can be seen on Arlindo's arms even when he's relaxed, and it looks a little bit weird. And the bodybuilder used to consider himself lucky to have such a muscular body. But something terrible happened. One of Arlindo's friends, Paulinho, died after a series of dangerous injections. Then Arlindo realized that could be him and decided to give up synthol. By the way, the athlete didn't stop training during injections. He did the same routine as always, and the injections only boosted the result. Kathy Jung. 81-year-old American Kathy Jung is the owner of the world's thinnest waist, and her achievement is recorded in the Guinness Book of Records. Kathy's waist measures only 38.1 centimeters. At 22, Kathy discovered corsets. According to the record holder, she admired the protagonists of Gone with the Wind, so she began to imitate her idols. The woman has given birth to 3 children, and since then wears corsets without taking them off. Well, except for 30 minutes during the shower, but no more. Otherwise, the waist may deteriorate. Kathy is married to a surgeon, and it's her husband who monitors the health of his wife and claims that Kathy is absolutely healthy. Well, we'd like to believe that. Of course, when you have such a thin waist, you can't dress in a normal store, so Kathy's clothes are all tailor-made. She admits that she feels gorgeous in her corsets while bringing income to their manufacturers. Dennis Avner. Dennis Avner became famous throughout the world for his unique appearance, which he achieved thanks to numerous plastic surgeries, and the result was really impressive. From an ordinary human being, Dennis turned into a cat man. But it's not just a whim. Avner, whose parents were descendants of the Indian tribes Huron and Lakota, explains that making yourself look like your totem is an ancient tradition of the Huron people. He took himself with the Indian name Stalking Cat and asked the leader of the tribe for advice. The latter inspired him to follow the path of the tiger, so Avner started changing his body. The modifications included large tattoos, even on his face, a nasal septum relocation, implants changing the shape of the eyebrows, the forehead and the bridge of the nose, filing and capping his teeth, and much more. Oh, and whiskers. Thus, Dennis has acquired an unusual appearance. He became a local celebrity and traveling throughout America to participate in interviews and photo shoots. Eric Sprague. Even if the name Eric Sprague doesn't ring a bell, you've probably heard about the Lizard Man. Eric has a tongue surgically divided in 2, like that of a lizard, fortified fingernails looking like claws, 5 Teflon implants under the forehead, which turned his brow ridges into strange growths, and even scales, made with the help of a tattoo artist. During excruciating sessions at the dentist office, Eric got his front teeth sawed to make them look like fangs. In an interview, the Lizard Man said that the only thing he still dreams about is having a tail. The only thing that keeps him from undergoing such an operation is the impossibility to implant a real tail, not just some prosthesis. Well, who knows what we'll see in the future. By the way, Sprague is considered to be the father of body modification. The lizard man makes money by showing himself. People are willing to pay money to see such unspeakable modifications to the human body. Eric willingly appears on television too. He's ready to show off his image of a lizard as often as possible. According to some reports, these procedures cost Sprague about $250,000, and he spent about 700 hours at the tattoo shop. Amu Haji. Amu Haji is an Iranian who was awarded the title of the dirtiest man in the world. Haji managed to win his dubious title thanks to the fact that he didn't carry out standard hygienic procedures over the past 60 years. In other words, Haji hasn't washed for more than half a century at all. The old man has no official address. He's a homeless hermit. Haji began to lead this lifestyle after some emotional stress experienced in his youth. It was then that he forgot about the blessings of civilization and stopped taking showers. Moreover, Amu is sure that if one day he decides to take a shower, he will certainly get sick. The hermit eats the things that he can find and sleeps in a hole dug in the ground, resembling a grave. In the winter, when it becomes too cold in his dwelling, he moves into a shack of bricks which the locals made for the old man. It must be said that Amu has complications with cleanness in other aspects, not only concerning his body. The old man doesn't eat fresh food and doesn't even drink clean water. As a water tank, he uses an oil tank that hasn't been washed for many years. However, Amu Haji does take care of himself in some way. In order to find out how he looks like, he uses the rear view mirrors of cars, and if he thinks that his beard and his hair are too long, he changes his style by setting his hair and beard on fire. Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love huge vehicles and can't imagine your life without robots around you? Then visit TechZone and you'll find all this and more. The link is in the description. You interested? Great.